Happy Friday. Welcome back. So we left off yesterday by taking some notes about principals, vice principals, deans of students, etc., 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 all those adults that we might find in the middle school building. And today we are going to go ahead and we are going to process our notes. So what exactly does that mean? So if you remember from the curve of forgetting video, we talked about how it's important to revisit our notes. We talked about we could highlight them, we could doodle on them, we could delete things that weren't important or add things that were. So that's kind of what we're going to do today, because the more we process and go back over these notes, the more it will become cemented or stuck down in your brain. So in this video, it will be shorter than the last one. We're going to go ahead and process our notes. I'm going to show you and write along with you in this video, and then I'm also going to show you a picture of my finished notes at the end of each section. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so we left off with our notes looking kind of like this. We had our job titles in and we had what they do. So in order to process this, we're going to go back and we're going to chunk. What that means is we're going to put things into bite-sized pieces. Right now, this is a lot to look at and a lot to work with. So by chunking it, our brain has little bite-sized pieces so we can remember it a little bit better. So I am going to grab a different color. You can do it in a different color or the same color. And I am going to make a little box around principal all the way down to vice principal's secretary. There we go. So I'm going to chunk those together. And then if you wanted, you can even draw this line all the way across. So another part of chunking is being able to tell your brain, like, okay, well, but why are they all together? So in this case, this group here, and I'm going to write in my margin, so imagine I had my vertical line right here, like you guys do, and then you wrote your questions over here. Your questions and your connections are over here. In this, right next to this, or wherever you have room, I am going to write administration. Administration. It's a really big word. So administration, those are the people who take care of like daily office needs. So your principal, your vice principal, your secretaries, your dean of students, they're considered the administration of the building. Now that is a very important word. You can go at home and share with your family and be like, I know what administration means. And I can tell you who the administrators, okay, short form, title form, administrators of my building are. So that's one. I'm going to go ahead and take another color to chunk up the second half. So from nurse down to school psychologist, I'm going to draw a box around those. And we had a label for administration, so we should have a label for this. This group is called student services. Student services. Because if we look back through it, they're doing all sorts of things to serve students. I'm going to actually go ahead with my highlighter and I'm going to highlight the things where we actually talk about them. So this is helping problems a student might have, providing interventions for students, bridging the gap between school and home, helping in school with student schedules, okay? Medicine and first aid, obviously, again, very much for students. A lot of the stuff that the administrators do aren't necessarily not for students. They just have a different frame of thinking. So by knowing these two, you actually know two chunks now of the building. So the next step, I'm going to give you a minute. Sorry, I'll let you finish up. The next step, when you are ready, is actually a little bit of a scavenger hunt. So in our last column, we didn't quite finish, okay, putting information in here, okay, in our name column. Now, the reason we don't have anything in it is because you guys are all going to different schools. It wouldn't make sense for you to teach me for me to teach you all the names of the people at my school if you're not going there. That would be rather silly, in fact. So what I would like you to do is I want you to pause this video right here. Okay? And I want you to go to your school's website. I have them all linked in Google Classroom for you. Go to your school's website, and I want you to see if you can find under the staff directory page, who is the principal for your building? Who is the vice principal? Who's the dean of students? Can you find any secretaries? What about the nurse, the school counselor? Your school actually probably has more than one counselor. How about the school social worker or the psychologist? So go ahead and pause the video right here. Come back to it when you're done, but pause right here. And when you have those names, come on back. All right, did you find the names? If not, please reach out to me and I can help you get those names and I'll help you find out where you need to look. So on this slide, I have a picture of my notes back to where we were. And remember how at the beginning, let me get my pointer out. Today I'm going to use a little mouse pointer. Remember when we had these 6 lines set aside? So we're actually going to go back to them today. So as a way to help us really solidify that learning, make it so we understand what to do and where we're going, we're actually going to go ahead and I'm going to have you write the same sentence 2 times. And so the question is, the sentence is, if I have a question about, no period, I'm going to leave some space, about blank, comma, I can go to the blank, period. Their name is blank. All right, so let's see how that looked. Perfect. So here are your blanks to fill in. If I have a question about blank, I can go to the blank. Their name is blank. So let me do an example for you. Now I'm going to ask that you don't do the same example that I do. So here's one. If I have a question about, and I am going to pick attendance. If I have a question about attendance, I can go to the principal's secretary and here is where your extra names come in, and you will put in the name of the person who has that role. So at Horning, if I have a question about attendance, I go to Ms. Craig. Does that make sense? You're going to do this 2 times. So you'll copy the sentence with the blanks down. Don't use my example. I challenge you to use 2 of your own. If you are really getting stuck, please let me know and maybe we can talk about it. Okay. But that's how we're going to end up really summarizing, not summarizing. That's how we're really going to show our brain that we understand and we can really process through our notes. Last but not least, once you have done all 3 of those things, taken notes with me, using and chunking our notes, finding the names of the people in your building that have those roles, and filling in the blanks for those 2 processing sentences, go ahead and snap a picture of your notes and upload that to Google Classroom as your work for that. Now don't forget, there is still a Flipgrid for you to do for positive growth mindset. But yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys got. And again, if you got stuck at any point, please, please, please reach out to me. You know I have office hours. Find me on WebEx or send me an email. I'm very excited to help you.